This is Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was really smart. In fact, he was a naturalist, biologist, and geologist. But he is most known for creating his theory on evolution. The idea that all living things are descendants of an ancient species that are different from modern-day species. On December 27, 1831, Charles Darwin set sail on a ship called the HMS Beagle to collect and analyze rocks, plants, insects, and animals from all over the world. But on July 8, 1836, Darwin arrived at St. Helena, where he stayed for 5 days. In his journal, he described the volcanic island as a huge black castle in the ocean covered in rough lava. It had a population of about 5,000, but the people were poor. On St. Helena, Darwin noticed that its vegetation had British character, caused by the majority of plants being imported from England. He found a total of 746 species of plants, including thickets with yellow flowers and blackberry hedges. In fact, the imported plants seem to have destroyed the native ones and grew better here than in England. Darwin also found 8 species of land shells that were extinct due to loss of habitat and food. The plants and shells provide evidence supporting Darwin's idea of the role that the environment plays on organisms. Most importantly, he made several observations on the volcanoes of the island, but we'll talk about that later on. On July 14, 1836, Darwin left St. Helena and arrived at Accession Island on July 19th, a barren volcanic island inhabited by British Marines and some Africans recently freed from slavery. On the island, Darwin noticed that there was a large number of rats that seemed to be imported. There were 2 different types of rats, one brown with somewhat glossy fur that lived on the coast, and the other black with fine glossy fur that lived on the grassy summits. Darwin noticed that they differed from the common black rat in color, fur, and size, but other than that, they were the same. He believed that, like the Galapagos, the rats varied from the effect of the new conditions to which they had been exposed. Therefore, the rats on the coast would vary from those on the summit. So what was so significant about these 2 islands? Well, although Darwin gathered more evidence to support his idea of adaptation and the role of the environment, his most important findings were about volcanoes. Based on his observations in St. Helena, Darwin discredited the widely believed crater of elevation theory, which stated that volcanoes formed like bubbles on the Earth's crust. Instead, Darwin agreed with Charles Lyell and the principle of uniformitarianism. A couple years after he returned home, Darwin went on to publish his book named Geological Observations on the Volcanic Islands and Parts of South America Visited During the Voyage of the HMS Beagle. He dedicated 15 pages to his research in St. Helena and came to the conclusion that volcanoes are formed slowly and gradually over time. Although he is long gone, Charles Darwin will always be remembered for his contributions to science.